Was at 6:20. It's now a little over 3 hours later, and we have about 6 hours and 12 minutes between each tidal cycle, between a low and a high. So we're about what we call mid-tide or an incoming or a flooding tide right now. Now what's good is we will still be here most likely after the tide has reached its highest point, and then we'll start to recede. So we may be able to do a little bit more at the end of the session if we're all still moving and shaking and ready to keep doing that after 4 or 5 hours of being on the beach. So what we want to show you is you've got different zones within the intertidal zone. And the best way to see that is to just look at this giant boulder here. So without thinking about what you've read or what you know or what I might think I know, let's just base this on observation, okay? Looking at this boulder, the top of this rock, describe it to me. Just call out whatever you see.
Hard.
Hard.
Green.
Green.
Red.
Okay, there's colors on this. Eroded, you can definitely see weathering. Slippery, why? Okay, there's algae, but there's two things on this. There's algae and there's blue-green bacteria, exactly. So what we have up here are blue-green algae or the kind of bacteria. So if you come closer, those who want to see this, the top of your rock is dry right now. This rock will probably not get completely submerged except during an extreme high tide and during a storm. With the tide at this point, it's covering it. It's actually coming up to it. It's giving it the incoming ocean tide here. So what is the ocean bringing in at high tide? Plankton, nutrients. Dinner, there you go, the dinner bell. Exactly. High tide means you're hungry. You get to eat at high tide. What else besides nutrients and plankton?
In fact, that is part of the
oxygen. Feel this water? You've all felt this water. Y'all put your hand in here. Nice and cold. Cold water holds more dissolved oxygen. So the colder and the more this gets submerged and the more this gets covered up, the more food, nutrients, oxygen, cooler temperatures, better conditions for mating, reproducing, laying eggs, all exists. So what do we have on this rock, everybody? Barnacles. Now, can I ask you at this point what species of barnacle this is? No. And here's the thing. I want you to know this. This is going to be, Chip's going to be making that face at me the whole time, and I know why. Because Chip and I had this really good volunteer training along with Chappie. Where's Chappie? Right here. And one of the things that we've learned is the more you read, the more confused you get. We have 15 different field guides on the coastline in my office bookshelf. And one day I went through them because I had someone say, I don't think that's called a dog well. I think it's called a dog winkle. And I want to see if anybody has one. Let me just look in your buckets here. You got one right there? Yep. You all probably have something that looks like this, okay? So see if you all have something that looks similar to this snail. Pretty good size. It has a teardrop-shaped opening, all right? It has little whorls or spirals, if you will, through the shell. And it has a very blunt apex or end to it, all right? Hold it up if you think you have something that looks like this. Excellent. You all have mystery shell. Mystery snail, because 6 of the field guides calls this an Atlantic dog winkle. The other 7 or 8 call it a dog whelp. So I'm going to go on what we observe. What is the scientific name? And that's another thing you can do. But a lot of the groups that we work with at Joppa Flats are kids under 6th grade. So, you know, we could say Nucella lapillus, we can say Thea or Theia lapillus, and we could look in our books and we can figure it out. But is that really the point? Are we here to be a robot and spit out data? No, we're here to engage. We're here to inspire. We're here to get the kids and the visitors to think on their own and take ownership of whatever it is we're trying to get them to grasp from this area. So this particular animal we know is a snail because why? What are the characteristics of a snail?
One shell.
One shell. Okay, spiral growth. It has a foot, a very muscular foot. Okay, now this one's not alive, so I can't obviously confirm the foot, but I can say it has a foot. So it has a foot. Now, do you find all the snails in the same place? No. So if you lived in one section and another snail was found in abundance in another section, that's got to tell us something. They have different what? What do they have different that would keep them from being together in the same rock? Different environment, different needs, different niche, different adaptations.
Out there are very interested in hiring Trump to be president of the United States. CNN's Athena Jones is joining us now. She's got all the new developments. What's the latest, Athena?
Hi, a lot of remarkable developments here, Wolf. I got to tell you, one of Trump's big selling points, he says, is that he's rich, he's successful, he's beholden to no one, not donors and not lobbyists, and so he isn't afraid to say what he thinks. He believes he's right on this illegal immigration issue, and he's surging in the polls despite, or maybe because of, his controversial remarks.
More bad news on the business front for Donald Trump today. After facing pressure to dump Trump, Macy's announcing it's ending its partnership with the billionaire businessman.
And you're ready for business. The Donald J. Trump Signature Collection, only at Macy's.
And taking his merchandise off the shelves, saying his disparaging remarks about Mexican immigrants are inconsistent with Macy's values. Trump says he's the one who ended the relationship because he has, quote, never been happy with the fact that the ties and shirts are made in China. The latest fallout from those incendiary comments.
They're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists.
Trump says Trump's political stock is on the rise, while a new CNN ORC poll shows former Florida Governor Jeb Bush leading the pack among Republican voters nationwide at 19%, up 6 points since May. The real estate mogul has surged to second place at 12%, quadrupling his share from a month ago.
I believe I'm second to Bush. But Bush is not going to get us to the promised land. This guy, I don't want to say he's a stiff,
Trump is also in second place in Iowa and New Hampshire, according to polls. On the Democratic side, Hillary Clinton has a solid lead at 57% nationally.
Now, former New York Governor George Pataki has written a letter to the entire GOP field, calling on them to denounce Trump's comments. It's notable that Pataki came in dead last in our poll. I should tell you that Bush, whose wife is Mexican, has already said he disagrees with Trump. Well,
Tina, thank you. Let's get some more insight. Joining us here in the Situation Room, our chief political analyst, Gloria Borger, and our senior candidate, Don Lemon, who actually just spoke with Donald Trump a while ago. Don, what did he tell you?
We talked a lot of everything from Macy's dropping him or him dropping Macy's because he sent out a press release saying that he actually dropped Macy's and it wasn't the other way around. We talked about China and trade. It was a far-ranging interview. We talked about his opponents, Jeb Bush, Chris Christie. But the interesting thing I think that's in most people's minds is the thing that has stirred up all this controversy, and that's his comments
Hard shell.
on
Second of all,
Mexicans and
1,
his
2,
comments
3,
on
4,
race
5.
and immigration.
1, 2,
Here's
3,
what he said
4,
about
5.
what he believes our
Definitely
studies,
not a
legitimate
rock,
studies
definitely not a
about
Jonah. If you had to guess what this was, what would you say?
from
Sure, because you're going by color. But guess what? It can be red. It can be mottled. It can be gray and look like gravel. You cannot go by color. So let's just try it again. We're on a roll here. Let's try this guy. Let's count. Oh, I gotcha. It's the only way I can hold this guy. Let's count that one. 1, 2, 3. Not a green crab. Okay. This one is very hard to find in your field guide if it's more than 10 years old. Because this is one of those invaders that just got here in the mid-1980s. This is the Asian shortbread. Okay? So we have a lot of invaders that are here on our beach. A lot of these guys are not from this area. They are not native. Our green crab, this guy. We're right. We're right. This came here in the 1800s from Europe.
I read the Fusion,
So
I read the Huffington
1800s,
Post.
before the
and
Industrial
that's about
Revolution, how did this guy
women
get here?
being raped. It's not about
My shit, so what, he held on to the outside?
the border. That's right.
In the ballast water. So ballast water does what?
Somebody's doing their duty.
What does it do?
Being raped. Someone's doing the raping.
Balances the boat, stabilizes the boat, so when you're in port of your origin, you fill up your cargo, you fill up the bottom of your ship. Now, a long time ago, they would use rocks, and they'd use gravel, and they'd use soil, but our bigger ships and our older ships have, they just
point out
take the
that there's
water
a
in.
distinction
So what's in the water?
reporting that the women coming across,
Plankton,
that's the
larvae,
price for them to
all of these things floating
those
around in
controls.
there, mussels
That's
attached
the
to
price
the
for them
side.
coming
When you
into
get
this
to
country. It's
port,
not
several
necessarily
weeks, days,
criminals that
months
are coming
later,
into
what do?
Don, hold on for a moment.
Get done.
Gloria,
So what did we just
these
do?
new CNN
We just introduced Welcome to Newburyport is what we did. So we came here for the seafood and they stayed.
as well. So what does that say about the Republicans?
I think the Republicans have a big problem on their hands right now. This is kind of the political nightmare that the Republican National Committee wanted to avoid. You've got Donald Trump now in the sandbox, throwing sand at other candidates like Jeb Bush and others. Once you start throwing that sand, others are going to throw it back. And a lot of candidates now, I think, are thinking about that. We heard George Pataki today take on Donald Trump because he disagrees with him on what he called his divisive remarks on immigration, but also because Donald Trump is sucking all the oxygen out of the room. So if you're at 2% or 1%, or if you're losing ground like Walker and Rubio, I think you start using Donald Trump as a foil and you start punching back, particularly when you're a part of a party that won 27% of the Hispanic vote last time around, and this is not a way to get Hispanic voters back.
Hey, boy, can I just comment on something Gloria said? Gloria asked about it, said, members of your party seem to think that you're an issue, you're a problem. And he said, no, I have the support of leaders of my party. I'm in touch with them all the time. They send me notes. They like that I'm in the race. I don't know if that's the reality of it, but that's what he's saying. And he also talked about those other candidates that you talked about. He said, that he's sucking all the oxygen out of them. Where he said, Chris Christie, he thinks that Chris Christie's time has passed. He thinks that Chris Christie's time was the last time he could have beaten Romney, he could have beaten President Obama.
Boring sponge. This firm textured sponge develops into irregular shapes that are covered with low wart-like protrusions. It's found on gravel and shell-covered bottoms up to 100 feet subtidally. This is cool. Free swimming larvae, here we go, land on a mollusk shell and develop into a sponge. As the animal grows, it secretes an acid that dissolves its host shell. So this is parasitic. The boring sponge is considered a problem in oyster beds. That's what it looks like. That bright yellow right there. So it's like a gelatinous, non-calcareous, soft-bodied bush that can actually secrete and add acid. Now, the one thing that we can't get into, but I encourage you to read about them because they're fascinating, are bryozoans and tunicates.
As well, in the meantime, there's breaking news. We're following New York City police engaged in what they're now calling city's most complex security operation ever amid growing fears of a terror attack over the July 4th holiday. Details screen.
What makes it an SUV is what you can get into it. What makes it an NX is what you can get out of it. Introducing the first ever Lexus NX Turbo and Hybrid. Once you go beyond utility, there's no going back.
My business is definitely life. My passion is this where I was placed on the planet. I'm truly a master of multitasking. And I will get it out. That momentum is constantly going. Having that same process applied to my banking is amazing. Chase technology is moving at the pace that the rest of the world is moving, allowing my momentum to kind of keep driving.
Technology designed for your business so you can use the faster the way you bank.
The bigger, more advanced, and more capable Fiat 500X crossover is available all-wheel drive. Well-rounded and has never looked so sharp.
Strong can tell a bedtime story.
I have something to say.
From Gate 9. AT&T's network has the nation's